In this video, you'll get a step-by-step guide on how to grow your website's traffic on Google. You're about to learn the same tactics I used to increase traffic by 80% for my client in one of the hardest niches on the planet. We're going to go over Power Hubs, an incredibly powerful, no pun intended, website architecture that puts Google on easy mode. A top-of-the-funnel content strategy that will bring you low competition and valuable visitors. A variation on the site size explosion link building technique only taught in my course, The Affiliate Lab, and much more. My name is Matt Diggity and I'm the owner of The Search Initiative, an international SEO agency managing some of the biggest brands on the internet. Today, I'm going to open up the book on some of our best SEO tactics. But before I do that, let's take a look at the case study itself and the incredible challenge that it posed. My client is in the finance niche, one of the most competitive niches as you can imagine. Where there's money, there's competition. The first main challenge that we faced is that all their main commercial keywords were locked down by super high authority websites. Imagine trying to rank on Google for a keyword like car insurance and page 1 is locked down by high domain authority sites like Geico, Allstate, Progressive, and Liberty Mutual. Yeah, sucks. And at the time, my client didn't have a competitive level of authority, not even close. That's like Hawkeye fighting literally anyone else in the MCU. So ranking for the main commercial keywords wasn't feasible in the short term. But this is a familiar situation in all niches, isn't it? Just look at the keyword best protein powder. Forbes, DR94. Live Science, DR90. New York Mag, DR90. Good luck. So we implemented a different strategy that I'm about to show you that ended up making them more revenue regardless. The second challenge was that the finance niche is what's considered a your money, your life, YMYL niche. These are topics that can affect your money or your life and attract a high level of scrutiny by Google. In Google's Quality Rater Guideline document, they actually list the topic of finance directly as YMYL. In YMYL niches, you need to do everything better. Better content, better links, better everything. Now the thing is, if you approach all niches as if they're YMYL, SEO becomes easy. Eventually, Google will have the resources to scrutinize every website to the highest YMYL standard. And if you keep this top of mind, you future-proof your website for what's to come. So let's jump in. But real quick, if you appreciate actionable case studies like this, let me know by obliterating the like button. Smashing the like button is a win-win. Makes me feel warm and fuzzy, but it also lets the YouTube algorithm know to send you more killer SEO content. Let's kick things off with breaking down SEO Power Hubs. In the world of digital marketing, we have a concept called the sales funnel. At the bottom, we have what's known as bottom of the funnel or BOFU keywords. These are keywords like buy car insurance. When someone searches for these keywords, they're ready to spend money. As mentioned before, the BOFU high-value keywords were already locked down by super mega authority sites. But going back to the funnel, we also have top of the funnel TOFU and middle of the funnel MOFU keywords, which are valuable as well. These would be keywords like how to get car insurance or Geico insurance alternatives. They're not nearly as competitive, but they can easily lead to sales as well. My client was lacking TOFU and MOFU keywords, leaving a lot of valuable traffic on the table. So what do? The obvious answer is to start writing informational content. The gangster answer is to start to grow your informational content using Power Hubs. A Power Hub is made up of a single high priority pillar article that typically has commercial intent. Around that pillar, you have a group of supplemental cluster articles that are typically informational and top of the funnel in nature. These cluster articles are linked to each other, as well as the pillar piece and vice versa. Now, what's the benefit of using a configuration like this? Hold on to your butt. When you design your Power Hubs with tightly relevant content, your chance to rank for the pillar and cluster articles skyrockets. Let's say you're writing on the topic of car insurance. You got a pillar article on car insurance quotes. How can you find highly relevant cluster article ideas? Let's ask ChatGPT. Yo, ChatGPT, give me 10 article titles with informational search intent that are highly semantically relevant to car insurance quotes. And bam, these are perfect. I especially like how to compare car insurance quotes, how to get accurate car insurance quotes, and driving history and car insurance. Pure gold. And if you create your Power Hub with giga-relevant articles like these, each time you write a new article, all the other articles in the hub rank higher too. You ever heard the term, with a rising tide, all ships rise? That's what you're dealing with here. Another benefit to Power Hubs is improved crawlability. When you make life easy for Google, they make life easy for you. This type of architecture is extremely easy for the Google bot not only to navigate your website, but also understand the relationship between articles in your hub. And lastly, Power Hubs have optimal internal linking. When a user lands on any article in the hub, there's always a doorway to another article, keeping them on your site longer. But you also notice that all roads lead to the pillar article hub, and the hub piece is typically more commercial in nature, which is bringing readers down the funnel and closer to conversion. Think of a Power Hub like this. The main car insurance quote article is the bird's eye view. It gives a brief explanation of stuff like how to compare quotes, driving history in quotes, and so forth. But in each section, it gives a link to the relevant cluster article for the full explanation. If you want an overview, you get that with a pillar piece. If you want a deep dive, you get that with the cluster articles. This ability to target both beginners and advanced users makes sure that everyone on your website has something to read. This establishes expertise in the topic, also known as topical authority, something that Google loves. So now that you know what to write for your PowerHub articles, let's take a look at how to write them. You're probably getting tired of this wildly exciting car insurance example, so I'll switch it up. Let's say you're trying to write an article for how to create NFT art. Start by Googling your keyword and open up the top ranking pages to analyze their content. Let's look at this Investopedia article line by line to see what's so good about it to warrant its position at the top of Google. This key takeaway section at the top of the article is smart, really smart. Google wants you to give quick answers to the search query. Not sure if you noticed this, but on mobile, Google has been randomly putting feedback forms on the search result, asking you how easy was it to find what you were looking for on a website. That's why the key takeaway section is so smart. Scrolling down the Investopedia article, we get the H2 headings. What is an NFT and how did you create one? And then we get to a step-by-step process. Step 1, figure out what you want to create. Step 2, choose a blockchain, and so forth. These subheadings tell you how you should build your outline before you start writing your article. Your content should be step-by-step and include these key points. If you use the Detail plugin, you can get a snapshot of their outline structure in one single look. It also tells you how many words you should write your article, as clearly Google approves of this length to answer the search query, since this article is number 1 and all. Once your article is written, make sure to optimize your SEO title, H1, URL, and meta description properly. I left a link to a full video on how to create content that gets to number 1 on Google in the description, so make sure to check it out after you finish here. Let's dig into the interlinking strategies available in PowerHubs. Going back to that car insurance example, the basic form of the PowerHub looks like this. The pillar page links out to the cluster pages and vice versa, while the cluster pages link to each other. But bear in mind there's more you can do with it. For example, you don't have to stick to this adjacent linking pattern around the cluster pages. You can link across, left, right, up, down, BA, and start. Comment if you get the reference. You can also link out to articles that aren't part of the hub. If you have an article on traffic laws, that's certainly relevant to car insurance, so interlink them. Likewise with auto maintenance. When it comes to the rules of interlinking, I like to keep things simple. Link relevant pages together. Car insurance and traffic laws, relevant. Car insurance and car models, not so much. And link more to high priority pages. An article with a high search volume and the ability to make you money, such as best car insurance, should have more internal links than a non-important article. Now that you have content getting churned out with your PowerHub strategy, I want to show you a backlink technique that you can use in combination with it that'll really get your traffic cooking. It's called the site size explosion technique, taken directly from my course, The Affiliate Lab. Having an engineering background, I approach SEO scientifically by using single variable tests to tell me how the algorithm works. One thing I wanted to test was content velocity. If you publish fast, is that a ranking factor in itself? So I rolled out a rapid content production plan over 10 test sites to see what would happen. Results were lackluster. Over a 2-month period, we doubled the size of the average site, but the average weekly traffic only increased by about 7%. And the average number of keywords in the top 10 increased from only 39 to 44. This is what traffic looked like for one of these test sites. But then I thought, what would happen if I started linking to this content as I produced it? A piece of content goes live, and then it starts attracting links, giving a signal to Google that every time I produce something, the internet reacts and links to it. Here's the results after this test pivot. After just 40 days, we noticed an average increase in traffic of 114%. The number of keywords in the top 10 increased from 44 to 92, and here's what one of their traffic graphs look like. So the name of the game is to build links to your content as your content gets published, and Google will love you for it. The links we built for this case study were gained through blog outreach. Let me walk you through the process from start to finish. Step 1 is finding your link prospects. Who do you want to link to you? One of the best ways to figure this out is to find websites who have already linked to sites in your niche. In Ahrefs Content Explorer, type in your PowerHub's main pillar topic, such as AI Art Generator. We're looking for articles that have a decent amount of referring domains, so set the referring domain filter minimum to 50. Now find a piece of content that is similar to what you're trying to promote and click the referring domains tab to reveal your link prospects. Another way to unearth some powerful link prospects is to use Ahrefs Link Intersect tool. Type in your competitors at the top here, and then put your website down below here. This is going to give you a list of websites that are linking to your competition, but aren't linking to you. You can sort by DR to put the highest priority prospects on top. Next, you got to find the contact details for these sites. Here's the easy way. If you use the Hunter Google Chrome extension, you simply go to the website and it will list out the emails associated with the domain. And you get 25 free usages per month. Next, you got to craft your email pitch. What are you going to write to them to get them to link to you? There's a simple formula for this. First, make the email seem personal. Make it seem like you're speaking directly to them, and this isn't just a template being spammed across the internet. Next, convince them that if they link to you, this will fix their content and benefit their audience. Here's an example. Hello, Bob. My name is Matt, and I'm the founder of Diggity Marketing and Associated Businesses. I really enjoyed the data you collected on SEO tool usage in your article, Which SEO Tool is the Best, which I came across while doing research on my own article about keyword research. However, I noticed that you linked to this outdated page. With this in mind, I wanted to ask if my article might be worth a mention on your page as it's more up to date. Either way, keep up the awesome work. Look forward to hearing from you. Now it's time to send off these emails, monitor your inbox, and repeat. This framework just straight up works. Just look at the domain ratings of the links we got for this client. Next, I want to address how to find and fix the issue of orphan pages. What's an orphan page? It's a page that exists on your website that has zero internal links pointing towards it, which makes it nigh impossible for Google to find it. Google has said that the main method they use to find pages is through following links. So if you don't give them a path to your content, it's as good as useless. Funny enough, the Yandex source code release showed that they had a negative ranking factor specifically for orphan pages. Let me show you how to use the SEO tool Sitebulb to find orphan pages. First, create a new project by entering a project name and your site's domain. Next, go to the Crawl Sources tab and select XML sitemaps. This sitemap will tell the tool all the different URLs that should exist on your site. Now start to crawl your website. In the Orphan Pages report, you'll get a list of lonely, sad orphan URLs. Here's how you fix them. If you want that orphan page to exist and you want it to be crawled, the easiest thing to do is interlink to it.
Well, duh.
And as you know already, you want to link to it from related content. For example, if you had an orphan page on Bluetooth speakers, you can use this site command on Google to surface all the relevant Bluetooth speaker content on your site. Now just create that internal link and you're done. There's situations when you don't want an orphan page to be crawled or indexed. For example, maybe you have a thank you page on your site for your email list. In that case, add this meta tag line of code to the HTML on your page. You can also no index a page using Yoast. Lastly, if it's just a useless, orphan, good for nothing piece of muggle content, just delete it. Next, I want to get into one of the most underrated SEO strategies, and that's optimizing your main menu navigation. Your navigation bar is the one element of your website that offers an identical experience for both your users and Google. For users, it's a means to find the content that they're looking for and understand what the core pages are on your site. For Google, it's all that, plus a means to understand the hierarchy and structure of your website. Optimize it correctly and you'll make both your users and Google happy. You have various types of navigation styles to choose from. Horizontal navigation is the most common. Side-by-side menu items at the top of the web page, easy breezy and simple for the users. Websites with a more complex architecture and multi-levels of categorization would opt for a drop-down navigation where primary categories expand into subcategories. This gives users a more detailed way to find what they're looking for. That said, more choices equals more indecision. Twitter has a vertical navigation bar which gives more prominence and real estate to its main value, that dopamine delivering tweet feed. And lastly, we have hamburger navigations which are popular on mobile because they can be compacted and expanded with ease. Here's how to take your navigation game to the next level. Pet peeve: avoid using generic labels such as what we do within your main menu because it doesn't actually describe what you do at all. Actually write your products and services in the navigation bar, whether that be directly or with a drop down, to make it easy as possible for both your users and Google to know what the fuck you do. Also, avoid overcrowding your navigation with too many items like this website here. Lots of these labels look like the exact same thing. And how's Google supposed to know which pages are important for the site? Instead, carefully select what goes on your navigation bar and everyone will understand your priority pages, customers and Google included. As a general rule of thumb, you'll find that most sites have between 5 and 8 items on their nav bars. This next tip leverages human psychology. You want to know why contact is usually found at the end of a menu bar? Studies have shown that humans tend to retain the beginnings and ends of things better than the middles. It's called the recency and primacy effect. So put your most important menu items at the beginning and the end. After executing all these strategies from Power Hubs to outreach link building, we were able to increase this client's organic traffic by 80% in one of the hardest niches on the planet. If you'd like us to do this for you, head on over to thesearchinitiative.com and get in touch by using the form. I'd be happy to take a look at your site.